Okay, here we are in the square and cubic units, which is still part of 2A. But before we get started on this, I just wanted to give you a little visual on what we're looking at and how we measure things, where all these squares and cubes and that kind of stuff come in. Let's talk about some units here. If I have a measurement of feet, that is one-dimensional measurement, and that is going to be a length. So like this would be feet. If I'm looking at feet squared, what I'm looking at is, which is feet times feet, I'm looking at two dimensions. And this gives us our area. So I would have feet here, and multiplying length times width is going to give me area. If I am dealing with feet cubed, then that is feet times feet times feet, which is going to be three-dimensional. And that is going to give me volume. So if I do that, and I'm not very good at drawing this kind of stuff, but I'll give it my best shot. Oh, well, this isn't too bad at all. Whoops, that should be. So I'm going to have a measurement of feet times feet times feet. This would be length times width, and this would be length times width times height. So again, if you're looking at these units, if it's just feet, that's one-dimensional. If it's feet squared, then that means you're looking at area, feet times feet. If you're looking at feet to the third, or any measurement to the third, it means that unit times itself 3 times, which gives you a length, a width, and a height. Okay, so that was just to get you started on this. And just to, again, we're going to clarify this a little bit more. When you're thinking about square units, how this converts when you're doing conversions, in particular square, and then we'll talk about cubic units as well. Okay, we know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So if we have 1 square yard, then that means 1 yard by 1 yard. But if I want to turn that into feet, then I know this is 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, another foot, another foot. So this is 1 foot, 1 foot, and one. I'm going to turn it sideways because I can't write like that, and 1 foot. So if I were to count these up, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 square feet. Now let's see what we can do with this if we're using unit fractions. We know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. And in my last video, I showed you that a yard squared is the same thing as saying yard times yard. So if I want to convert 1 square yard into square feet, I have 1 yard squared, which is 1 yard times yard. Now notice what I have here. I'm going to have to cancel out the dimensions twice. So I'm going to have to convert to feet. I know 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, so there's my first yard gone. And I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, and here is my second one gone. So this becomes 3 times 3 times feet, and everything is gone here. It's over 1, which is 9 feet squared. So you can see visually, or you can see by doing the dimensional analysis, that 1 square yard is equal to 9 square feet. Okay. All right, so we're going to use this table to answer a couple of questions. The first question asks us, we want to convert 5 square yards into square feet using 2 unit fractions. Okay, I'm going to use the same thing. If I know that 1 yard and 3 feet, my pen didn't work. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So if I have 5 yard times yard, I'm going to have to do exactly what I did above and convert it twice. To take care of that yard, I'm going to use the equivalent fraction of 3 feet over 1 yard. To get rid of this yard, I'm going to use the fraction 3 feet over 1 yard. And what I end up with is 5 times 3 times 3 times feet, which becomes 45 feet squared. So this becomes 45 feet squared. Now I encourage you to do this on your own, but you don't have to, of course. On here I want to find a conversion factor between square feet and inches. Okay, so I want to convert 1 square foot into square inches. So I know 1 foot is 12 inches. So I'm starting out with 1 square foot. This is my start. And I need to end up with inch times inch. So I know I'm going to have to get rid of the feet twice. I'm going to have inches twice. Well, I know 1 foot is the equivalent of 12 inches. 1 foot is the equivalent of 12 inches. When I end up crossing off all my units, then this gives me, and I'm going to 12 times inch. So 1 square foot is equal to 12 times 12 is 144 square inches. Okay, on our next example here, we want to convert 2,000 square millimeters to square meters. And we're going to use this conversion factor. So this is my start. So I'm going to write this as 2,000 millimeters times millimeter over 1. And over here I'm going to end up with meter times meter. I'm going to have to use this conversion twice. I've got millimeters in the numerator, so I've got to get millimeters in the denominator. So this gives me 1,000 millimeters equals 1 meter. 1,000 millimeters equals 1 meter. All right, so millimeters gone. Millimeters gone. So this gives me, and I'm going to 2,000 millimeter times millimeter. 1,000 times 1,000 is a 1 with 6 zeros. And then I'm going to let my calculator do the rest of it. I'm going to take 2,000 divided by 1 million, I guess that is. And this becomes 0.002 square meters. Notice how when I write this, I always put a 0 before the decimal. The reason I do that is so in case the 0 here is a lot easier to see than a decimal point. And if I don't make it very clear, then I may have to do something else. Okay, switch videos. Be back in a minute.